This video from SharpHelp, we're taking a look at PLU reporting on the XE-A307 register. So first of all, what is a PLU? PLU stands for price lookup. To me, the best description of it is it's an individual product. So on a cash register, any cash register will have sales departments, which are categories of sale, which might be groceries, alcohol, books. They're all departments, they are categories of sale. An individual PLU is the individual item. So on this machine, 2 PLU is beans, 450 grams, 100 PLU is a small bottle of port, and I've also got some barcode items. Well, I have one. So that's a book called No Spin at £20. So they're individual items. The only difference is the barcode is an EAN, European Article Number, and it comes under a slightly different file. But they're still effectively PLUs, individual products. So you can have open PLUs with a variable price, but generally a PLU is a preset item with a description and a price. So in this video we'll look at the reporting. It's kind of part technical video but also part sales explanation of what reporting you get on the 307. So 307 is actually a pretty good machine. For its price you get a hell of a lot of reporting information. So first of all, let's cash off that sale, because that'll give us a few more PLUs to look at on our report. Now all the reporting for the modern Sharps is done under this button here, the mode key, and then you have 2 modes which are report modes. You have X1Z1 and you have X2Z2. We'll look at X2Z2 later, but effectively they are periodic reporting, so weekly, monthly, quarterly, but we'll look at that in more detail later in the video. So the first bit we'll look at is X and Z1 mode. TLNS to enter. So you have on the machine here flash read, which I'll just quickly look at. That's this is just to see how you're doing during the day, so there'll be no individual PLU information in here. There'll just be a cash and draw total, a sales total, and a sales by department. So it's just the general figures that have been taken for that time period during this sales day. You then have reading. Now X and Z reads have confused people for years. Basically, X is reading only, it is not a resetting report, so you take an X reading to see how you were doing rather than to finalise any reporting. So if we ignore PLUs for a second and just think about how we'd run a daily report, your X report is almost like a shift report or a checkup report to see what's currently occurring, and your resetting Z report is what you do at the end of the day to your till balance, and then also to wipe the day report down so that you don't get any sales carrying over into tomorrow's information. Okay, so that's the difference between X and Z reports. If we now look purely at PLU reporting, so I've got other videos explaining in more detail about the financial reports you do, we'll now just look at PLUs. Please do, you're thinking. Reading. You go into reading, which is your X1, and then you scroll down to PLU EAN menu. TLNS, I always do by range. You can look at it by department or 0 sales, but for this we'll just look at by range. So this will show you all the PLUs. Messed around with a blooming printer on a previous video and I've forgotten that, so that should have come out the front of there. It's a good start. So there we go. Because just for this demonstration I've not got a massive PLU file, so I've only got 3 PLUs and then a barcoded item at the bottom, but it doesn't matter because it's just indicative of what type of information you get. So it says X1 at the top, which tells you it's not reset that data, so that data is still in the register. It's PLU and EAN, and then you have each PLU, you have your PLU number, so number 1, the description, chock, and then the that quantity there, the 102, is how many of that item have been sold, and the value immediately beneath it is the total value of sales assigned to that product for this time period. And then again at the bottom it puts the EANs in a separate part of the report, so you have a total for PLUs and then a total for EAN, which are your barcodes, and again it's got a quantity and total value sold. So if we now escape cancel out of there, what we'll do is we'll just sell a few more items. So we've got exactly 20 of our spin books there. Let's sell 100 times 1 PLU, 50 times 2 PLU, and 25 times 100 PLU. Process that sale. If we now go to the X1Z1 mode again, and this time we'll take a resetting PLU EAN report. This will include not only the sales we just did, but also the sales that were previously on that X report I ran for sale. So we can see the spin one at the bottom's nice and easy. That's gone up from 20 to 40, and then all the others have increased. So 202 PLU1, 152, so that was 50 extra beans, and then 25 extra of the PLU number 100. The reason why I did that was basically just to prove X reads don't reset, they just give you the information. So generally on a till you probably wouldn't do a PLU X report, because you'd normally be doing a PLU report to see how many you've sold over a given period of time. So you might do a Z1 PLU report, the report that I've just done, maybe at the end of the month or at the end of the week. Obviously it varies from business to business and how important that information is to you. The one limitation of any till at this level is that you can't go into them and say, I want a PLU report for March last year, I want to see how that was against March this year. So there's not that type of information available to you unless you start automating everything. So you have to be a bit clever about it, but what you could do is you could take advantage of the periodic PLU reporting and do a Z1 PLU report at the end of every month. So that would then give you a month's worth of PLU sales. It would also wipe the data. So if I now do another PLU report in the Z mode or in the X mode, it doesn't matter, there's going to be nothing on it because I haven't sold anything since I did that Z PLU report there. But where's that data gone? That data's gone over to the X2Z2 mode. So if we come back to the main screen and then have a look at X2Z2, within here we got reading and resetting, but I'm just going to keep it simple by going to resetting. You have another PLU EAN menu. So you can actually run this report. Maybe if you're running a PLU Z report at the end of every month, as an example, you could then run the Z2 PLU report at the end of the quarter. Now what that figure would give you is it would give you, if you ran a PLU Z report at the end of January, at the end of February and at the end of March, if you then ran the Z2 PLU report at the end of March, it would give you a consolidated figure for the PLU sales from January, February and March. So let's run that report now and see what's on it. I'm expecting to see a lot more information. Okay, a little bit in for information. Obviously, this is the problem with these demo videos, because I'm only putting through a few sales. It doesn't give you a real feel for how much more data there could be. But if you look, there is more data, admittedly not a lot, but my Z2 report over here has got 220 PLU1, 197 PLU2. It's also got a PLU3 that's been sold, and it's also got quite a few more scanning lines that have been sold as well. So that basically that proves the point that over this time period, this is what was sold, and then over the whole time period, this is what was sold. So yeah, so it's actually quite a lot of information on a 307, and bearing in mind you've also got the ability to put this type of information onto an SD card as well, so you can have a look at it on your laptop or computer or whatever. So yeah, that's the PLU reporting on the machine. I hope that made sense. I've got plenty of other videos going into detail on the different reports you can do on a 307. Some of those are probably appearing on screen now, so you're welcome to watch those. You can also subscribe to this YouTube channel. or visit sharphelp.co.uk for more. Thanks for watching.